Now to this. It's day 11 of the government shutdown. Let's check in on Capitol Hill to see how things are going.
Why don't we sign on right now?
Did your boss, Donald Trump?
You can easily extend the ACA right now.
Did your boss, Donald Trump,
He's not my boss.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not. And by the way,
so let me ask you a
why
question.
did you vote to shut the government down? No, it's sad. It's sad. You could easily sign on to this.
You're embarrassing yourself right now.
You could sign on to this. The only embarrassment here is you.
You're not going to talk to me and talk over me
New York residents
because you don't want to hear what I have to say.
Oh, I'm listening.
So why don't you just keep your mouth shut?
Not going well for Hakeem Jeffries, and it didn't get much better for him.
I mean, I'm listening to him tell this guy that he's looking for a moment, but Hakeem is being just as performative. Somebody was recording that for him because he wanted to put on a show as well. And I'm not impressed by Hakeem Jeffries telling somebody they got a boss. Chuck Schumer's Hakeem Jeffries' boss. The real estate lobbyist in New York City are Hakeem's boss. The finance lobbyist in New York City are his boss.
Here to discuss that congressman in that exchange with Hakeem Jeffries, you know him, New York Republican Congressman Mike Lawler. Congressman Lawler, I watched you holding Hakeem Jeffries accountable, and it appears in the process he lost Charlamagne.
No question. And he lost control. I mean, he was stuttering, he was stammering, he was yelling, he was angry, and he wasn't answering any questions. And I was making a very simple point. Look, we voted to pass a clean CR to keep the government funded and open. It's a position he held 13 times under Joe Biden. And I'm co-sponsor of a bill to extend the ACA tax credits by a year to make sure that Americans don't see a health care premium spike. Sign on to the bill. And he wouldn't do it because this really isn't about either of those things. This is about Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer being petrified of their far-left base, AOC, Zohran Mamdani, and primary challenges from the left. And so they're trying to show them that they're fighting, that they're pushing back against President Trump. And that's really what this is about.
Yeah, and you were asking him about bipartisan legislation. There are 13 Democrats signed on. Like, presumably he should have an answer about that. But he doesn't, which is why he resorts to ad hominem attacks and yelling in that crazy exchange. You also put out a letter just this morning, you and your New York colleagues in the House, Republican colleagues. You bring up Schumer's own words. You say he called a shutdown self-defeating. Kirsten Gillibrand called a shutdown political games. And you're calling for them to end this. Do you think this letter will move them?
Unfortunately, probably not. But it's important for them to be called out on their hypocrisy. Again, 13 times under Joe Biden, they voted for clean CRs. Chuck Schumer has always maintained that you keep the government funded and open, that you don't use the American people as hostages in a negotiation, that you don't hurt our military, our border patrol, the American people that rely on critical programs like WIC and SNAP. And yet that's exactly what they're doing because they're so petrified. Chuck Schumer took so much heat in March when they passed a clean CR. And he's so worried about AOC challenging him and losing control of his Senate Democratic Conference that he's trying to show. I mean, he even updated his glasses to show that he's hip and feisty now. But it's absurd. The whole thing is performative. They should do their job on Tuesday, come back, vote to open up the government so that our troops can get paid, so that Americans relying on WIC and SNAP have the funds they need to get these critical services.
Yeah, and you're here in New York, so you know these individuals well, Schumer and AOC and the like. And I have seen polling that shows her double digits ahead of Chuck Schumer. Yeah. Do you think she chooses to run ultimately and defeats Chuck Schumer?
I do. I do think she will run for U.S. Senate in 2028. I don't think she'll run for president. And I think Chuck Schumer's days are numbered. Look, he's been in elected office for 50 years. He got elected in 1974 to the New York State Assembly, 1980 to Congress. It's time to go. 50 years in public office. He has lost complete control. And it's embarrassing at this point.
Yeah, Mike Johnson was in third grade, I believe, when he was first elected. That tells you a lot. And Mike Johnson's a young buck still.
Listen, it was 12 years before I was even born when Chuck Schumer was elected.
Oh, gosh, and I'm about your age, so there we go.
Exactly.
I also want to bring this up. You had this New York Post article that came out, and you're the third Republican I've heard mention this. On October 18th, so 1 week from today, there's this left-wing rally. They're calling it the No Kings Rally. I heard Tom Cotton, Mike Johnson mention it, that Schumer's holding out because he can't anger this left-wing flank ahead of the rally. You really think this is a motivation?
I do. I mean, look, they are so petrified of the rage on the left about Donald Trump being president. I mean, so much so that Donald Trump secures Middle East peace, and they can't even bring themselves to give him credit. They can't even bring themselves to say he did a good job because they are so concerned about their left-wing base. And frankly, I really wonder what the pro-Hamas wing of their party is going to do at this No Kings rally on the 18th, because Donald Trump has done the very thing they were demanding, which is bring an end to this war.
Well, I'm so glad you flagged this rally. We will cover it 1 week from today, Saturday in America, the No King rally. We'll let you know what they're up to. Thank you so much,
Bailey.
Congressman.
Thank you.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.
আমি করব না আর এমন পিরি কেউ দিলে যাচিয়া করব না আর এমন পিরি কেউ দিলে যাচিয়া শারমি গো তোমার প্রেমের ঝেল খাইয়া করব না আর